Greetings, fellow ghouls and specters alike. Your ghost host with the most, Jacob Weil here.
And Blue Dragon 5, here to engage in some haunted holiday hijinks by trudging through the catacombs and dusting off the cobwebs to recount a spooky selection of Halloween classics.
So light the jack-o'-lanterns, suit up, and grab the candy dish as we revive and recount tonight's spooky selection. Courage the Cowardly Dog, the Hunchback of Nowhere.
Maniacal laugh.
Maniacal laugh. Well, the funny thing is right off the bed, Dragon, we call this a spooky selection, but this is actually one of the least spooky episodes of the entire show.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the funny. I mean, I'm not saying it. Obviously, I'm not pointing that out as a bad thing or anything. I mean, like I said, this is actually one of the most pathos-driven episodes of the entire show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a classic for that very reason. It's like we already have some comments here saying, Return the Slab. Oops, wrong episode. From Little Blue.
Mm.
Have you reviewed the Scooby/Courage film? Yes, we did that the year it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, we actually have covered that. All right, so Dragon, why don't you start us off on this one?
Yeah, so this is a really sweet episode. It's a send up to the Charles Lawton, Hunchback, the original, Hunchback in Notre Dame, who so weirdly is kind of viewed as a classic horror monster when it's, I mean, I've always debated whether or not to my mind the Hunchback does not count as like a classic Universal monster.
Like, well, it's always like counted as like a Universal horror film, kind of.
I know, but it's like
But I think they mainly included there for branding, but
yeah.
I mean, it's horror. I mean, probably back then it was considered close to horror, but even then it's still kind of tame, I guess. I don't know.
That's the thing. I mean, it's more it's like there's sympathetic monsters, and then there's like, well, he's not a monster. He's just deformed, but he's not a monster.
Well, I mean, that was one of the themes of the novel as well.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, the movies like greatly simplify the novel. I mean, coming from someone who's actually read the book.
Yeah.
I mean, have you read the book?
No, I have not.
I have read the book, and the movies are quite different from from all their adaptations.
Well, yeah.
I mean, like almost like being in name only, or instead of saying based on, more like inspired by, would be closer.
There's one thing we do know for sure. Okay, we know that in the book they had singing gargoyles. That much we do know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that wasn't clearly an invention or anything.
Anyway. But yeah, I still like this is kind of a send up to kind of like the pathos of the Charles Lawton, performance. And
like, didn't Lon Chaney also play one of them?
Yes, he did. I don't know who.
I think he was like the original silent Hunchback.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think he was the silent one. I think I know one name. Ron Perlman loves the Charles Lawton Hunchback.
Well, I mean, it is a classic. I mean, Universal did make both, so there is that.
Anyway. So yeah, this is as Jacob's kind of circling. This is kind of the rare exception that courage, being afraid of something.
It's like, I mean, yeah, I mean, like I said, it's one of the more well-known pathos-driven episodes. Like the other known ones, at least early on, were like The Giving Tree.
Mm-hmm. I love The Giving Tree episode.
Oh, I do too.
It's so perfect.
It's a fantastic episode. And of course, and also another personal favorite of mine, Robbie the Robot. Or I don't know if it's named Robbie the Robot or
something.
Well, it's the robot that learns how to whittle.
There you go.
And another episode where Courage befriends the monster of the episode. And I, in this case, but in both cases here, including this episode, I'm putting monster in quotation marks.
Yeah.
This Hunchback, he may look like may look like that, like a monster, but he's anything but. He's like the kindest, like probably the most gentle soul in the entire show.
Oh yeah.
taking kind of cues from like Beauty and the Beast as well in a way. I mean, like just he's just seeking shelter from the rain, and everybody's just turning him away simply because he looks like that's how he looks.
Yeah, but it's basically, what if the Beast is, what if we took the Beauty and the Beast film and we turned it on its head? We're okay. Not only can we turn to a beast, you're gonna have to go around, offering people roses to go inside their houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna see how that works out for you. There's the revenge. There's the rose curse. You have to get inside and have someone take that rose for payment.
Yeah. I know that's a very loose connection, but
Yeah.
but the connection is there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you can cite it directly towards Beauty and the Beast, but it's just that's the thing that comes to mind when I think about it. Anyway,
Of course. Anyway,
I just noticing, but I do kind of like how they threw in the touch here of like the barn door kind of have like a kind of like the circular window you see in churches.
uh-huh.
I don't know if that was probably an intentional design choice. Now that I'm thinking about it,
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I said I didn't even notice it until I'm just staring at this thumbnail right here. I'm like, huh, what do you know? That's a
Yeah,
pretty
man,
good.
rarely do we see the barn in on the farm.
Yep. I mean, a lot of times, like you actually forget that it's actually supposed to be a farm.
Yeah, only rarely do we have like a chicken coop in a barn. Rarely.
Yep. Like there's like only like one episode. I think it's like it's the one with the floating head that like talks about about the fact that it's explicitly supposed to be a farm.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, that's like another contender for haunted holiday hijinks.
Yep.
Like a lot of as I guess this is our yearly Courage episode, and until we run out of episodes, you can probably do it until the end, until we cease this show. So there's plenty of that.
Oh yeah.
It's like we could like do an entire year based on Courage, and we still have plenty to choose from after that point.
Yeah, we do the kangaroo episode for all you know.
I don't even remember the kangaroo episode.
Wait, really? You don't remember the kangaroo episode?
It's not one of the ones that spring into my mind when I think of Courage.
Eustace and Courage turned the kangaroo kaijus.
The only way I mean, you'd think I would remember that, but unfortunately, that's one I don't really remember.
Courage, you know what Courage's main weapon against Eustace is to save the day in that episode?
No.
Croissants.
like
slingshot. He slingshots like a whole bunch of croissants at him.
Like I said, you'd think I'd remember that, but there's actually one I don't remember.
It's really twisted too. Like there's like a whole there's a body horror component to it. Like
I mean, I doubt it. Sounds like a great episode, but I don't remember it.
We have like the Indian doctor in that episode. Who just botches everything up.
This is not good. Not good at all.
Yep.
Dr. Vindaloo.
Yes, Dr. Vindaloo.
But like the only other like transformation episode I can remember is like the one where they where they go to that island and they get turned into vehicles.
Oh yeah.
Or if you count this is a transformation on the one where the mafia foot takes over Eustace's body.
God. Yeah, yeah. Well, Edward G. Robinson toe action there for you.
Yep. I mean, there's a lot of episodes of this show that I remember. I mean, the show's like what I remember.
You remember the big dodgeball episode, don't you?
Oh yeah, the ball of revenge. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Dragon. Like remember, folks. If you remember correctly, when we did the great '90s ranking, I picked this as my favorite cartoon of the '90s.
Yeah.
I mean, I always associate more.
Yeah, not '90s, but you know.
I mean, it was literally it was really a series called the Great '90s Ranking Podcast, and since it technically premiered in the '90s, we counted
right with the pilot, yeah.
It's like so we counted. Like I said, I was associated more with the 2000s.
No, you're right about yeah.
And if we did count as a 2000 show, it would probably still be in my top 10, but not my number one.
There you go.
But if we count it as a 90s show, then yes, this does rank as my number one.
Mr. Technicality over here. Look at him.
I mean,
technical.
I mean, you're not one to talk there.
Well, am I?
I mean, okay, maybe you are, but
anyway.
But yeah, it's like I said. So like I said, unfortunately, I don't remember the kangaroo kaiju episode because that sounds amazing. But
Yeah. I'm shocked you don't recall that one.
I mean, like I said, I remember. Like I said, I remember a lot of the episodes. Like it's like I remember Fantasy Flan. I remember the
That one always disturbed me as a kid.
Fantasy Flan.
God, he was so creepy.
Like I remember the gerbil that sold vacuums.
The lady with the suction cups was also really, that wasn't right.
And a lot of the again, we should probably get onto the episode itself
Yeah.
before we keep reminiscing about other episodes. But a lot of the stuff in this show wasn't right.
Okay. Anyway,
I mean, heck, remember Courage in the Big Stinking City with the violin lady?
oh, I remember.
That was definitely not right.
Yep.
But anyway, so again, we should talk about reminiscing of other episodes when we actually do them in future hijinks. But
Yep.
the episode begins with our poor nameless hunchback just trying to seek shelter from the storm.
Yep. Vic the Hunchback.
Oh, his name is Vic.
No, his name's I just made up a name for him.
I was kind of thinking because that would be pretty interesting if it actually was his name, like they
Oh,
named him, like they named him after Victor Hugo.
well, that's what I was going for. Like, what if he's named after Victor Hugo? But no, so we have the Hunchback. So he's turned away in the rain. A lot of ambiance here. I love the rain ambiance that we're using all over this episode. So it's raining, and he's seeking some shelter, and they're all turning away because of how he looks. Like you, and just really spell it out really harshly too. You're not at all pleasant to look at.
It's like, yeah, which is just really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, the ambiance, his kind voice, and the music just really sets the tone. It's like he's just a guy looking for some shelter from the rain.
Yeah.
I mean, makes you feel bad for the guy. And who knows, considering the show to the myth is only like 6 episodes in, according to the Max listings. But I mean, at this show, you think it might just potentially be a red herring or something like that? But no, he's just a genuinely nice guy, just seeking kindness in strangers.
Here's what I think was really clever about what Dilworth did with this character. How he
Irvin or Irvin S. Bauer, who wrote the episode.
All right, sure, but I mean, I have to assume Dilworth did design work on this, but I could be wrong.
I know, but I mean, they're both to be given credit here.
All right, fair point. My point is that from a design standpoint, what's really great about whoever did this, I love that we kind of took the monstrous qualities that we've seen and we'll probably basically will see from other Courage characters, other Courage baddies, most typically, and we've applied them to the Hunchback, but again, to mischaracterize him. If you look at his eye, he has like the same weird kind of bug eye sort of thing like we had like from the mattress delivery guys.
Which is just like this is like episode 8 supposedly, and that was like 2 episodes, like 2 or a couple episodes before this one.
Exactly. So
funnily enough.
You see what I mean, though? It's like we're getting like the potato-shaped body, the little limbs, and we have like the weird-shaped eyes. So all these potentially monstrous things, but we softened him in the face with the expression. So like this, from a design standpoint, is a really great combination of things.
And also give him like a soothing, gentle voice too.
Well, yeah. Which is kind of the key when you really look at those Courage characters. Is usually our bad guys. Rarely will we have well, maybe my theories I just realize my theories has a lot of holes in it because we do have like kind of soothing voice. We have characters with soothing voices who are pure evil.
I know, but it's just basically. But then again, a lot of those characters with those soothing voices are more pleasant to look at.
That's true. I mean, it's like talking about like Cats. Paul Scheffler.
It's like I'm Cats.
Yeah, we got Cats. Let's see. There's.
I mean, Le Quack.
Well, also, Fred.
Naughty.
That's what I'm saying. He had a pleasant demeanor.
It's like no, but he's just a guy who really liked to cut people's hair.
Yeah, he's a deranged unlicensed barber.
Yes, and he's like one of the creepiest people in the entire show.
Just a serial barber.
Yes, but it's somehow he just still managed to be like one of the most infamous episodes of the entire show, and he doesn't even really do anything too bad. The worst thing he does is like leave Courage with a bad haircut.
Yeah, it's still pretty bad, like against his will.
I know, but it's against his will. But it's not like he's like someone like it's not like he's like like going around like cursing people and stuff like that.
That's true. I always thought like the twisted bit that he did was he shaved the pancake.
Oh god.
He shaved the pancake.
It's amazing how this show can manage to be both terrifying and hilarious at the same time.
Yep.
Speaking of an episode that's just not that's not like that's not like scary, but more on the funny side. The episode that Hunchback is paired with is The Gods Must Be Goosey.
So ridiculous. Just the idea that he falls in love with Eustace's truck.
And he takes it away with. It's one of my favorite episodes, to be honest. At least as far
really,
as like one of the funny ones go, anyway.
well, falling in love with an inanimate object is always kind of priceless.
I mean, it's a goose god that sounds like a deep voice, like sounds like this deep voice goose god serenading a truck.
What's really sick and funny at the same time?
What?
There are people in real life that actually do that. They always think it's sensationalized, but you do always hear those stories about people actually fall in love with their vehicles.
Yeah, I know, Dragon, but I'm not trying to bring that into this.
Yeah.
but yes, I'm well aware of that.
Anywho.
Yeah, but just to think this pathos-driven, completely dark, completely heartwarming episode is paired with one of the most ridiculous episodes of the entire show. And it still doesn't feel out of place, does it?
Nope.
Anyway, so eventually, after going to several houses, he eventually comes across the Bag household. And of course, naturally, Eustace turns him away.
If Eustace just screams out, like, ah!
I mean, at least he didn't, like...
insult him, at least not yet.
Yeah, not yet, but at first he just screams at him and closes the door.
Yep.
I mean, obviously Eustace gets worse later, but he actually has the milder expression up front than most other people do.
I do have a criticism of this episode. It's a missed opportunity of a criticism. I don't think I'm far off with it in this case.
Yeah.
So, the farmhouse, Eustace, he's berating Courage for not fetching his raincoat. And, he scares him. The Hunchback bears witness to this cruelty. And, basically Eustace does like the eyeball scare. Now, given the payoff of this episode with Eustace and the Hunchback, I think it was a grave error on Dilworth's part, or whoever, the writer, I guess maybe our writer's part, that we did not give Eustace the traditional mask. I know they were trying to change it up, but this is like the one time he really did need the mask, and we didn't give it to him. Because it seemed really important. It would have paired really nicely with our payoff.
Yeah.
The one time, Yeah,
I know what you mean, except this time he did like the weird bulging eyes thing.
I mean, it's cool. I mean, I don't mind like changing it up. It's like the one time you don't want to change it up.
It's like, as Code gets, he's a rude character, but he's also like the funniest character.
Oh, without question. I mean, the old manisms on Eustace are always priceless. Ah,
blah blah blah.
So one of my all-time favorite episodes of Courage is Heads of Beef.
Oh, I love Heads of Beef. We also covered that on Hijinks.
We did. The one time there was actually nothing to be afraid of. The one time.
Yeah, funny enough, another time when the characters were just misunderstood. And it was Courage that did the misunderstanding.
That's what I'd say. Like those two episodes are probably like, you can count on one hand the number of Courage episodes where there's really actually nothing to be afraid of, and it's more of like Courage fearful for the life of something else or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
I said, speaking of Courage and Eustace, this is actually like one of a few episodes where Eustace actually calls Courage by his name.
Like one time, yeah.
I think I read specifically like one other episode that he mentioned it that used his name within the series, but this is like one of like two examples where he actually says Courage.
Yep.
Every other time it's just like stupid dog.
All right, let's see. So the Hunchback asks if he can save the night. Eustace screams at him and says, no. Courage says, well, I could have stayed in the attic.
Like, he could have at least stayed in the attic.
So this cracks me up, by the way. Okay, so Eustace is so cruel, okay? Courage goes out to the barn in the rain to get Eustace's raincoat, and Eustace really he has no reason to go out. So he has no purpose, no reason to need a raincoat right now.
Well, the question is, why does he keep his raincoat in the barn?
That's a better question.
I mean, why doesn't he keep it inside?
I think purely to torture the dog.
I mean, that's probably the exact reason.
Yep.
But whatever the reason is, that's where Courage finds the Hunchback hiding up top when he hears him ringing the bells.
So this was a delightful idea. Like we're gonna take the bell ringer idea and make it this cute little they had like a little set of bells with different chimes and tones, and I love the atmosphere of this episode. I love that it's like this really protected kind of like you're inside the barn, and it's like it's very pleasant and cute, and they're ringing the little bells against like the heavy rainfall. It feels again the whole idea with the Notre Dame, the cathedral, and everything is that it's a sanctuary. So this, in a sense, is a sanctuary from the rain and everything. So it feels right. It feels accurate.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't even notice like the circular window, like the rose window on the barn until just like looking at this thumbnail right now.
Yeah.
I said, and that leads even more credence to your theory.
There you go. So let's see. So then we have random acrobatics, but it's nice.
I mean, I don't know if it was supposed to be reference to something or just them having fun, but
no, it's just them having fun. They have like all the bales of hay. It was just kind of an idea, like, yeah, what kind of fun could they have? Well, use the bales of hay like a trampoline of sorts.
and like guys like a cushioning for if in case they fall off the trapeze.
Also, it might be a nod to. Depending on what version you go with, I guess he did kind of pull off some acrobatics when he rings the bells, so maybe it's a bit of a nod to that.
I mean, I think like some of the books and movies like specifically mention that's where he got his like his muscles and stuff like
That's
that.
the thing. So I think it might be a nod to that, maybe.
But the thing is, that's in the books and movies, well, at least in the books and maybe some of the movies, that's also where the ringing the bells is also what caused him to go deaf.
That is true.
Which is not obviously a feature of this Hunchback.
No. Well, you see the size of the bells he's ringing. He can't go deaf from that.
Well, except maybe if he did the one at the very end of the episode too many times.
Oh yeah, he did. He did a lot. Yeah.
But I don't think he has I think he's gonna have an issue with that.
If only you see sanctuary, bring.
Yeah.
All right, so we hear the bells, and it's. And again, it's really, really cute, really, really nice there. Let's see. So they're doing acrobatics into the piles of hay. Eustace is looking for Courage.
Because he didn't get his coat.
But again, just utter laziness that he's gonna, he'll go out purely to torture the dog in the rain to get the raincoat. Just defeats the purpose of having him get the raincoat.
And again, as I pointed out earlier, one of the few times he actually says Courage's name.
Yep. So let's see. So Courage hides the Hunchback in the bale of hay, and then he hands him the raincoat. And what's Courage's reward? He gets scared by Eustace again with the big bug eyes again. Shut up in the mask, the boogie boogie mask.
Ooga booga booga.
Ooga booga booga.
And of course, it shows like the Hunchback's immediate dislike of what he does to how he treats Courage.
Yeah.
So we're already seeing some dissent there.
Yep. Let's see. So the Hunchback comforts Courage, and it's a really nice form.
Yeah, with very impressive shadow puppetry.
Yeah, this is nice, and we see kind of like the Hunchback's, the Hunchback's kind of mantra, which is like, his belief that we shouldn't treat each other unkindly.
Which is a good credence to live by.
It's the golden rule: treat others the way you want to be treated. It works,
Oh yeah, and Courage has been treating him with kindness, so he's paying it back in earnest.
Yeah. So we have these awesome shadow puppets. Like we have Eustace, and then we have
stupid dog.
a bunch. And again, this pays off nicely too, like the impression of stupid dog and how that kind of comes back later.
Another mask.
Yep. Let's see. So we have Courage, with the multiple bunnies, the Eiffel Tower, we got
The multiplying buddies.
Yep, we have the Eiffel Tower, and then we have like the butterfly gets eaten by the frog, which is impressive.
And I don't know how you can do that with your fingers, but
Well, Jake, if you apply it yourself, you could do that.
like Dragon, it took me years to learn how to do a Gromit impression. I don't have time to. I didn't have time to learn how to modulate my fingers like that.
see all that valuable, see all that valuable time. Instead of like mastering a Gromit impression, you could have been the expert shadow puppeteer.
Yes, I mean, where did I go wrong?
Yeah, but instead you're the definitive voice
Voice.
of Gromit. I mean, if anything ever happens to Gromit's current voice actor, the job's going to you, my friend. Because I'm saying right now, they're making that movie, but they have an understudy. And it's you.
I'm very much looking forward to the new Wallace and Gromit movie.
Remember Hollywood? He works cheap. He'll do it.
It's like but on a side note, I am really looking forward to the new Wallace and Gromit movie.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well.
And it's the return of the Penguin.
Yeah, Colin Farrell's going to be in the movie. Everybody.
Not that Penguin.
No, you're right. The nun from the Blues Brothers. She's gonna be. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, so
I unfortunately I can't remember the Penguin's actual name, but
yeah, but I know who you're talking about though.
yeah, but I can't wait for that either way. But anyway, so yeah, it's like the next morning we had Muriel's making breakfast and kindly invites the Hunchback into the home.
Yeah, of course, classic Muriel. She's making breakfast, hopefully without vinegar in this case.
No, she always includes vinegar in everything.
Yeah, but some not. It's everything she makes from scratch. Though just seems to be pancakes.
Apparently, the Penguin's name is Feathers McGraw.
There you go. I knew it was Well, I thought it was. I was gonna say foul, but I mean feathers. As I was in, it was kind of in the camp of it. But you're right though. Feathers McGraw.
All right.
Well, no, he's got it. That's the name.
I know. I mean, I don't doubt it.
Anyway, so so Muriel's being real nice, making him breakfast, and the friend of Courage is a friend of mine. Sits him at the table. Then Eustace enters, and he is less than cordial.
Like, and eventually ends with them like throwing barbs at each other while Eustace gets some things in, but Courage just passes notes to Hunchback saying like you're like variations of you're bald.
So, okay, so a couple things. Okay, so one, I love that Courage has an opportunity to really stick it to Eustace. However, I think it's even funnier that Courage isn't really good at it. I mean, it's working for him. It's like in terms of like the variety, because initially it's like you're very bold and you're very very bold, and then he changes up.
Are you bald?
Yes.
Yes.
The Churchill version of that joke.
Churchill version.
I'm just saying it's a little like how Winston Churchill might deliver that, just given the regalness of the Hunchback.
Are you bald? Yes.
Yeah, will we by air, by sea?
We'll fight them in the trenches, on the beaches,
in the barber shops,
and the chicken coops.
Yep.
Where we will eat our blueberries.
Yep. Anyway, the other thing that reminds me of is, it's kind of like Larry David. His acceptance speech for I forget if it was for Curb or for Seinfeld. I think it was probably for Seinfeld. He had this great acceptance speech when he went up there. It was a big deal. Like, hey, well, not a big deal. It was like, hey, it's good for him. He won. So what's the clever funny man going to say when he gets up there? His speech was this. This is great, but I'm still bald. So it's like that really at the end of the day, and that's why I love that when we see this, he uses that's what really is grinding his gears, because that's what it always boils down to, which is like it's Eustace can be as insulting as he wants to the Hunchback, but he knows that the Hunchback kind of has him there, and it infuriates him because all of life is just like he would be so much happier if he had hair. We saw Happy Made Squidward briefly.
It's like hair.
Money for a perm.
Like, oh, it's like somebody left me money for a perm.
There you go.
Oh God. Funny enough, that episode was creepier than this one.
Oh yeah. I actually saw a T-shirt of that episode recently.
Which scene?
Well, I mean, it was basically just Doodle Bob on the center holding the pencil up in the air and had a whole bunch of quotes from on the shirt.
Like Doodle Bob quotes?
Yeah, like "Ahoy Mignoy."
Like hobble.
So they probably had some of that on there too, but it was mainly that. I didn't look over the shirt. I wish I did, because if I did, I would have been looking for like, "Take it easy, it's just a drawing."
I was like, of
Still,
course.
one of the best lines from SpongeBob, by the way. I still love that line.
Take it easy, it's just a drawing.
God, it's like the perfect line for animation geeks.
It's in a very applicable line.
Yes.
Anyway.
Anyway, okay. Point being, it's fun seeing Courage like eagerly, kind of writing some bars, but he is not quite the writer that Snoopy is.
No.
No.
It's like Kogyo was mentioning the time he got like the rap song, I think, from the Scooby Doo movie.
Yeah.
Which I remember I was the only one on this who actually kind of found it funny.
Yeah.
But there's also the episode where he was like a test subject for like hair growth. So there is that one too.
Oh yeah.
There is that too.
Well, you remember when he had like the what you talking about? That was the one where like anger like triggered it, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
I'm saying we saw like like the other guy, like put a few dabs on it there, and then like there are no paper towels, and he freaked out and he blew up the bathroom.
But then that's like one of the few episodes where he actually earned the money that he earned the money without any cheap tricks.
Yeah.
Except it just had a nasty side effect. It's a hair trigger temper.
There you go.
I'm sure that was intentional on their part.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's like the trading farms. Muriel blames Eustace and has him eat his blueberries out in the chicken coop.
Yeah. Doesn't give him the full. Okay, so the breakfast gets a little screwed up here. Okay, because Muriel's like making pancakes and everything, and before Courage and the Hunchback can even eat their pancakes, she's like, "Why don't you go out and play in the rain?" It's just the fact that, like, well, Muriel, let him eat their breakfast first.
And the fact that he was trying to literally get out of the rain.
Yeah, and then also the fact that Eustace he's just given the blueberries, but not the full breakfast.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
Nope. Well, again, let's face it, Muriel's a little senile, but
That's a kind way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, look. God love her though. Okay, I'm just saying.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything bad about her. I'm just saying, I'm just agreeing with you.
Yeah, I'm just saying, God love her. It's just, she's not all there, and we've seen many examples of her not being there during every dire warning that Courage has ever given her. So
even as like a little, even during that episode when she was a kid, she wasn't really all there.
That always been stubbornness from the old country, though.
I know, but even then it still had the signs were there.
Yeah.
Like the entire episode, she was like remember like when Courage is making her macaroni, like keeps sending it back, and at the end, like after like 6 or like probably like 5 or 6 like retries, I hate macaroni.
God.
I can imagine even Courage was like wanted to like be mad at her at that point. Like, he was like probably ticked off at her at that point. Even it's like the things I do for love. Oh God. Anyway,
should just give her a spoonful of vinegar.
Makes the medicine go down. Doesn't make medicine go down.
No.
Sugar does.
Yep.
What does a spoonful of vinegar do?
Makes the medicine go up and like all over the place.
Pretty much. Like, you don't want that version of Mary Poppins.
Yeah, basically the Epicat version of Mary Poppins.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's the poison control ad for Mary Poppins. Like they basically do like a little poison control ad. Like, okay, what are you gonna do? The kids have eaten something not supposed to. Mary Poppins is in a panic, so out of her infinite magic bag, she pulls out some Epicat and then basically sings like a song, basically to the Epicat scene from Family Guy.
Oh God. That's
There's your robot chicken parody for you.
oh God, that was
Yep.
the less I think about that episode, the better.
Who wants chowder? See, it's just the orchestration of here's the you could gross out humor does have a place, but you gotta execute it flawlessly for it to work. You can get away with bathroom humor, you can get away with that. Like, for example, I dare you to crap off of that. Staged perfectly.
Wait, what?
Yeah, from Family Guy. In the PTV, at least the uncut version of the episode, one of the Dare shows they had was like, I dare you to crap off of that. Essentially, it was Peter. He's like on overpass, and they framed it again. Modern Family Guy would probably attempt to show it. This was back when, like, okay, we're going to let the audience fill in their own blanks, and we're going to cut the black. They're going to hear a sound, and that's that's as far as we should. That's as far as we push it. But that's what I'm saying. There can be an artfulness to gross out humor.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Blazing Saddles.
Heck, early Ren and Stimpy.
Early Ren and Stimpy, of course, they had an artistry to the to the gross out humor with like the magic nose goblins and Stinky, and again, look at Blazing Saddles.
Yep. It's like, more beans, Mr. Taggart? Oh, God.
What in the wild world of sports is going on here?
What in the
crap load of dimes?
They don't even think to go around the booth.
Of course not, Jacob. I mean, it's a toll booth. You can't go around the toll booth.
Yeah, right.
You see the size of that? It's like, what do you think this is? Like the frontier town? Manifest Destiny? You think it's just open space as far as the eye can see?
Has anyone got a dime?
Has anyone got a dime?
Oh God! How did we get into Blazing Saddles at this point?
Well,
we talked about talking about there's a art to gross out humor, which I don't even know how we got to, considering this show.
We started with the vinegar thing. Yeah, so what happens when you eat the vinegar?
Yeah, so let's move on. It's amazing how we can go off on it somehow start about Muriel using vinegar to cook and somehow end up on Blazing Saddles.
Well, again, the episode's not scary enough, so we have to kind of add some horror.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, so let's see. Oh, by the way, I love the gag where Eustace holds. Eustace's insults were really, I thought, were kind of clever too. The whole how do you spell ugly? You.
Like you are bald.
Yep. Then we had the two mirrors. He holds up two mirrors.
The only thing uglier than this is this.
Yeah. Yep, good old Carrot Top Eustace.
Yeah. And then Muriel kicks him out to eat the blueberries in the chicken coop.
Yep, so that's the morning. Later, it's night.
Although if you notice the clock, if I noticed that I looked at the clock correctly, I think it said 3:30 or something like that.
Well, Dilworth can't tell time. It's okay.
It's like I don't know if I was looking at the clock wrong, but this is what it looked like.
Yep.
So anyway, later on at night, Eustace is hungry.
Yep. He's hungry. He's looking for Muriel to no avail, and he goes out to the barn in the rain. And we have this really cozy setup where Muriel has a rocking chair with an umbrella, watching Courage and the Hunchback on the roof ring the bells, and it's all nice.
Yep, and Eustace notices that the Hunchback is wearing his raincoat.
Yes, the all-important raincoat he can never keep track of or keep inside the house.
Yes. And so basically this is the climax of the episode where Eustace climbs up to confront Courage and the Hunchback.
See, had he had the raincoat, and here's the thing, he actually should have put on a different raincoat. He would have been all black. He would have put on a big poofy hat. He would have Jean-Claude Frollo.
Yep.
He basically suffers the PG fate of Jean-Claude Frollo. Like, basically, what if like we didn't like?
At least the Disney version.
That's what I mean. Like, what if we had like a far more mundane, kinder fate for Frollo, where instead of having an epic hallucinatory death on the way down, I'm like, okay, you know where you're going, pal. Like, ah. Instead, it's like it's an old man like falling off a roof.
Yep.
Which ultimately is what happens in Hunchback. So I would like to think it is a nod to. I think Eustace is actually cast in the role of Jean-Claude Frollo in this climax, technically.
Pretty much, yeah. Like specifically, like the Disney version. I don't think that's how. I mean, actually, I do kind of think that's how the original one in the book dies too. Just like I think Quasimodo pushes him off.
That's the thing. So
it's like obviously it's under different circumstances in the Disney version, but he just pushed off the cathedral versus falling on a broken gargoyle and falling into the pits of hell. But
I tell you, man, I still think Hunchback can stand the muster. If only we didn't have the gargoyles interact with the people, the people trying to get into the cathedral at the end. If only we didn't have break the illusion that was all in his head, it would have been perfect.
Yeah.
It's like the only gripe I have with that movie. I like A Guy Like You. I love that song. It's like the one thing, if we cut the gargoyle having having romantic feelings for the goat, and if we cut, if we just cut him actually interacting with the people.
I'm losing a card game to a bird.
That's fine. Okay, look, that's fine. All right, that's broad enough. That's fine.
Like the bird's not sentient, jolly.
Because I mean, the birds are going to be around. Quasimodo can hallucinate that. Okay, the gargoyles are playing cards with the bird, but Quasimodo's thinking okay, Hugo's romance and Esmeralda, Jolly the kid. It's a Jolly the goat. It's a bit much.
Yeah.
The
funny thing is, the stage play actually did, I believe, explicitly make them figments of his imagination,
which is a good idea. Here's the thing: even if you play him for comedy, it's like Quasimodo's had such a miserable life. He needs a comedic outlet. He needs to lighten things up. That's the only way he can lighten up his life by imagining Jason Alexander as a gargoyle.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Disney Broadway version, I think, has them explicitly as figments of his imagination.
Yeah.
Like I said, unfortunately, it's not like this. I don't think it's like a Broadway. I say Broadway, it's more like a stage play. But it hasn't achieved big, blockbuster Broadway status like Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, A Little Mermaid, like that.
Yep.
Which is a shame because I heard it's really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, they reached the. We reached the climax, where Eustace is confronting Courage, and scaring him. And at this point, the Hunchback's had enough.
Yeah, he sticks up for Courage as Eustace is yet again scaring the poor guy, and also Courage dangling off the roof too, at least to the side of the roof. So it's cruel to him. He's had enough.
And yet Muriel can't even tell what's going on.
Nope.
She's listening to the bells, but can't notice when her dog's in danger. When her husband is threatening her dog.
Yeah. I'm sure Peter had a field day with Muriel.
What was that?
I'm sure Peter had a field day with Muriel.
Yep. I'm honestly surprised Peter didn't go after this show, to be honest.
In hindsight, yeah. But then again, Courage does, he does beat the bad guys at the end of each episode, so.
I know, but still.
Yep. I mean, look at the last episode of Courage. That's the one you think if Peter had any thoughts on any episodes, it'd be that one.
Yeah, you're talking about Remembrance of Courage past or perfect?
Well, it was, I guess, Remembrance of Courage past, which really, in hindsight, should have been the actual last segment. But yeah,
instead of the penultimate episode.
Yeah. Well, Perfect's a good episode, but still, I'm just saying, literally, that one's that's your full circle closure moment. You need that.
Yeah. Well, Unfortunately, we couldn't decide on we couldn't decide on the order. So
Yep.
that was it all up to Dilworth.
Yep. See, we had him on. We should have grilled him about that. John, why didn't you end on Remembrance, man? We had the perfect ending, and you just swapped it. Why? We demand answers, Dilworth.
Well, if you look at it, it's just like it ends with Courage like realizing he's perfect just the way he is.
Yeah, no, you're right. It still plays. I'm just saying it's like it's also cool.
Yeah.
It's a wit end.
Looks like Kogia shares your sentiments on the gargoyles. He would have cut a lot of scenes with the gargoyles.
Yeah.
So getting back into it, he pulls out the Hunchback pulls out the mask of Eustace, stupid dog, which Eustace finds scary.
So I love this. Again, the only thing, it just opens up this big flaw of like, why did Eustace use the eyes this one episode?
Yep, but it's enough to scare Eustace into falling off the roof of the barn.
It's like the first time anyone besides Muriel has ever called him out on, like, what did this poor little dog ever do to you? And he's like, Eustace already he's kind of backed into a corner here, and then the mask is like, confronting him with his own horror.
Yeah.
He's dangling off the roof. And again, Courage and the Hunchback do go to help him, but I don't think they're crying over his fall.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we hear him moaning, so we know he's not dead.
Yeah.
I mean, there are episodes where he literally does straight up die, but this isn't one of them.
Nope.
It's amazing how Eustace can be. They can literally be turned to stone or explode or get cursed into a tablet at the end of the episode. It's literally the next episode he's just sitting in his chair rocking back and forth again.
Yep.
And speaking of dogs, James Gunn has revealed we will be seeing Crypto the Super Dog in the new film.
Well, we already knew that. They did release the official photo today.
And it's apparently his own rescue dog.
See, look at the nepotism at work here. James Gunn just can't help but put a dog in the movie. He's got Lee Pace gets a pet raccoon, and it's everything. It's always the animals of the stars.
Oreo.
Yeah.
All right, rest in peace, Oreo.
All right, So he didn't make it, did he?
I think he died a couple of years ago.
That's a shame.
But the funny thing is, I love how Oreo I believe he attended the premiere of the movie.
He did that. I did see. Yeah, so the raccoon did actually attend the premiere. It does make you. I mean, that raccoon probably got the star treatment, so at least he went out.
Which is wholesome as heck.
Yeah.
It's like he provided the likeness for Rockets, so why not?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the Scooby-Doo and Crypto movie? I
have actually, yes.
I have not. How is it?
It's okay. It's not honestly. It's less less Superman based, more kind of Justice League based. But it's it's.
But it still has Crypto in it.
It does have Crypto. It's not bad, but it's no Batman, Brave and the Bold meets Scooby Doo. That's top tier. That's phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I love that. I love that one. The funny thing is, I actually pegged the villain like the villain and the twist kind of early on in that one. It's like Clayface and the Riddler, for those who aren't aware. I mean, the movie's been out for 10 years, so it's not like I'm spoiling much.
Well, Jacob, I don't think it's been 10 years.
Well, it's been long enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna be scrambling over. Oh my god, you spoiled Batman, Scooby-Doo, and Batman Brave and the Bold. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jacob, you made Diedrich Bader cry. I hope you're happy now. He was the brother you liked, too. The brother you always wanted. You always wanted Diedrich Bader to be your brother.
I mean, Dragon, doesn't everyone want Diedrich Bader to be their brother?
Well, yes. But I mean, you liked him far more than your what was it, stepbrother, half brother?
Half brother.
Yeah, see, he's a half brother because he's half dead to you. Diedrich Bader, he's alive and well, but now he's crushed and brokenhearted. See, now he's crying in a corner like your actual half brother. That's no way to treat Diedrich Bader, Jacob. For shame.
But the thing is, yeah, I agree. The Scooby-Doo Brave and the Bold movie is top tier.
It is, absolutely.
Probably the best time you have Scooby-Doo and Batman crossed paths.
Easily.
I mean, yes, there was the episode of Guess Who where we had Kevin Conroy Batman, but even then, I still think that Brave and the Bold is better than that.
I mean, that climax, man, where Batman and Scooby are saving each other. That's amazing.
You mean, but was that in the Guess Who episode?
No, that's in the
Oh, yeah.
that's in the the Brave and the Bold one.
Like I said, as much. Don't get me wrong, I still love Kevin Conroy Batman episode, obviously.
Well, yeah.
And of course, you have the classic scene of Scooby's like, "I am vengeance, I am Batman." But yeah, I still think Brave and the Bold edges it out a little bit.
There's actually a really good comic series of Batman crossing over Scooby with the Scooby Gang.
I've actually heard of a couple of those.
I keep meaning to get the trade of that, but I keep getting sidetracked.
Kogi has like the crossovers from the '70s, probably like the new Scooby Doo movies ones.
I know what he's talking about. Look, I love that the actual Brave and the Bold show made fun of those specials with the Weird Al Yankovic episode.
Yep. Is that the one where like Batman presents Batman Strangest Cases?
Batmite presents Batman Strangest Cases, yes.
Yeah, that is what I said, right?
No, you said Batman.
I said Batmite.
No, well, you did now, but you didn't then.
No, I said Batmite presents Batman Strangest Cases.
Okay. All right.
Fine. And that was kind of a precursor to Scooby Doo means Batman Brave and the Bold.
So that's the thing, yeah. So I mean that brings it back to look. I remember watching those specials just for the fact that, oh my god, it's Batman and Scooby Doo, and I was just watching, it's like, man, why is it so boring?
But then there was the.
You know what the best part of it was though?
The Bat Snacks.
Yes.
Like, I don't have any Scooby snacks, but I have these Bat Snacks.
I'm just saying the Bat Snacks are awesome.
Like, yes, I remember that.
So the best part is like, why couldn't it all be that? And then of course we get Brave and the Bold. We have a whole bunch of gags like that.
Yep.
See, far superior than the 1970s one.
And also, not to mention like Happy Halloween Scooby Doo, where it's like where you have the Scarecrow as one of the main villains.
Oh yeah.
But that was also a good one. That was also a good movie too.
Sure. I was saying like, oh look, Kogi has likes that because he loves like Joker and Penguin teaming up from the 70s version. Like, I mean, look, fine, team them up, but like,
All right. Like, this is another tangent. I mean, it's in tangentially related because Scooby Doo did cross over with Courage. So
yeah, there you go. It's not completely out. It's, it's a Hanna-Barbera dog of some kind.
And it is another cowardly dog.
Yeah.
So there is some precedence there, but it still has nothing.
Our finale last year was Scooby Doo based. It's not entirely out of the realm of possibility.
You mean Scooby Doo Project?
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't that the one we started with?
I think it was the finale.
I could have sworn it was one of the ones we started with.
All right, fine then. I have no idea then. I have no idea what our finale was last year.
I don't know, but I know we did.
Oh, wait a minute. You might be right. I think our finale was The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Never mind. Forget what I said. You're probably right. Anyway, the point being.
I mean, maybe we didn't start with it, but I know it was. I know sure as heck it wasn't the finale.
Okay.
But yeah, that was an interesting one to do, and we should probably do more Scooby Doo stuff for Hijinks down the line. Like, maybe we should even do the Happy Halloween one, the one that Maxwell Adams did.
There you go.
Anyway, so back to this.
I just want to highlight, again, Great Allows is Major Dr. Ghastly. No one ever talks about how great Evil Concarnate was. It's always Billy and Man, Grim Adventures, Billy and Man.
I mean, Billy and Man is amazing.
Great, but that's the fact that no one ever talks about Evil Concarnate.
I mean, I know, but I know, and I did like Evil Concarnate, but if I had to choose between the two of them, I'd go with Billy and Mandy.
Well, yes, of course, because you had more episodes of it. That's why.
And because I like the concept better too.
Yeah, look, it's a great concept, but yeah, like you had a Russian circus bear
with a brain in its stomach. Yes.
Yes.
And General Scar.
Had a great design.
I know. Like I said, in a perfect world, we would have had both, but we only got Billy and Mandy, and
Great Allows is a mad scientist.
Yes, I know, Dragon. She's also an evil little girl.
I know. To be fair, I think Great Allows actually played every part, just across the board. She's played everything.
Probably, yeah.
Yep.
But anyway.
Anyway, yeah. Okay, so Eustace died from the fall. No, I'm kidding. He's fine. Eustace fell.
He's just in a lot of pain.
Yep. Well, deserved pain. He abused an animal. He kind of deserves it.
Yep. But Eustace, I mean, but Muriel encouraged See off the Hunchback. It's like, I hope I find strangers as kind as you.
Yep, which is really nice. It's a cute goodbye, and they ring the bells, and then we have like the giant gong bell.
Which is hilarious.
Yep. Thank you for the kindness. Hope.
I hope I find strangers as kind as you.
Yep, and then he walks down the street, kind of Incredible Hulk style, and yeah, that's the episode.
Yep. I personally like to believe he did find people who were willing to take him in.
Maybe settle down with Esmeralda, hopefully with a happier ending.
Ugh.
So seriously, what do you think? You think he finds like another like a female hunchback?
I mean, it would be nice. It would be nice if he did.
Yeah.
Or maybe not even necessarily a female hunchback, but just someone who is willing to look past his outside and find the kind heart within.
What if he ended up with a blind woman?
Well, that would work too.
I mean, it's kind of, you never think about it, like.
I mean, I guess it she doesn't have to be like blind or a hunchback.
No, she doesn't have to be, but it's gonna be kind of cool though.
I'm just saying, if somebody just loved him for who he was, or
Yeah,
just or if he just had a friend and he knows he has a friend in Courage, so.
Or he befriends the Phantom of the Opera.
That too. I'm honestly surprised. Did Courage ever do like a Phantom of the Opera episode?
Well,
I don't think so.
I think they were close one time, but no. Like, you have like the alligator who's kind of dressed like the Phantom of the Opera, but
Fusili, yeah, I remember him.
But that doesn't really count. So no.
Like he's more of like a ringleader / puppet master.
Yeah.
But like I said, I can't think of any time they ever like explicitly mentioned or parodied the Phantom of the Opera. Doesn't Penguin from Batman have a hunchback?
Well, it depends which one, but usually yes.
Like
Paul Williams Penguin from the animated series, Hunchback, DeVito Penguin Hunchback,
which is what the Williams was initially based on.
Arkham City, I guess you'd call it a Hunchback. I guess it's Hunchback-esque. I mean, I don't. What would you say? Would you say the Arkham City Penguin's a Hunchback?
Maybe.
I mean, he's kind of old and up, so I mean, I think he's got like a natural. I think he had probably like the most natural hunch of the bunch of them.
Yeah, probably.
As I'm saying, the other penguins are like egg shaped, so
I mean, the Arkham City one's also kind of egg shaped too.
Well, I guess you're right. I guess they're all just technically egg shaped.
I mean, except for Colin Farrell.
Yeah, but what are you? I don't know. With the way he walks, like, is there a hunch there or no hunch?
I mean, I wouldn't say a hunch. It's obviously more of a the club foot.
Okay, never mind. I think Colin Farrell and Robin Lord Taylor are the exceptions to the Hunchback thing.
Which one was the last one?
Gotham TV show. Yeah,
I kind of figured. Obviously, Burgess Meredith didn't have a hunch.
Honestly, debatably, pre Colin Farrell, Robin Lord Taylor might have been the best live action Penguin, frankly.
It's kind of hard to beat Danny DeVito, though.
It is, but he was a young Penguin. Though. As a young Penguin, he was flawless.
Yeah, and he fit perfectly within the world of Tim Burton's version of Batman.
Yep.
And he was still named Oswald Cobblepot.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. All right, I think that's enough side tangents for tonight. What do you think, Dragons?
Yes, this has been an episode of On to Holiday Hijinks in which we talk about Batman predominantly, but yeah.
And it's supposed to be about Courage the Cowardly Dog and a hunchback.
Yeah, well, again, we talked about the real Hunchback, who apparently is Oswald Cobblepot.
Yeah, so are Tanzo that are somewhat related, but kind of.
Anyway, yeah. So this, look, this is a very wonderful pathos-driven episode. It's a delight. Is it the Giving Tree? Well, no, but is it really nice? Absolutely.
Would you say this ranks above like the robot episode?
Yeah.
All right. It's like, but definitely not the Giving Tree.
Probably not, but I'd have to rewatch it. But probably not.
It's like, so in orders of like those pathos episodes. I mean, there's more than these, obviously, but those are the most famous ones.
Mhm.
So your ranking would be Giving Tree, Hunchback, and the Robot.
Yeah.
All right. I just can't remember the name of the robot for some grief.
You know, I'm going to throw one at you. I love the Scarecrow episode. That's another pathos-driven one. That's a really good one.
I don't remember a lot of the details of that one.
I forget. I'm pretty sure we covered it for Hijinks, but that's really
Would you count the Snowman as pathos?
well,
mild. Not as to the extent of this, obviously.
well, the second appearance, first of all, that's the pathos one. But I mean, look,
Yeah.
I think that's more of a me thing. I see a lot of pathos in the Snowman
The
sequel.
Snowman.
I seriously, I love what Paul. We told Paul Scheffler this. I loved what Paul Scheffler did when he was like, like reminiscing about his fallen snow comrades, like the whole Ivana the snow woman.
and I think my favorite interaction with them was like when he was like talking about when he voiced Benton Tarantella.
Yeah.
And the voice direction he received was "sound more dead." And he's like, "How do you do that?"
But seriously, the idea of a snowman who's lost everything. It's a really great pathos-driven backstory to give the snowman.
And he's one of the, and it's like he only came like once or twice, like less than some other villains, but he was a few. There were many one-shot villains, but he actually came back at least once. So
Yep.
Unfortunately, we never got to see the Hunchback again, though.
Yeah.
But like I said, that's why I like to believe that he found someone who was willing to take him in.
Yep.
And then he still looks back at, still remembers the day he met the kind dog who gave him who made a friend with him.
At the end of the day, it's so wonderful that the most humanity he was ever shown was by
A dog.
by a dog. It wasn't even human. Again, it was like man's best friend, the man itself.
And if you count Muriel.
Well, I'm saying Muriel as well. I'm saying the dog started though.
Yeah, but it showed him that there was good people in the world, and even though some of them are dogs.
Yeah.
And just the simple act of them ringing bells together and doing shadow puppets, he made a true friend.
There you go.
Yeah, all right, folks. Thank you, Kogias and Little Blue, for joining us this evening. And Dragon, do you think it's time to call it for the night?
Yeah.
All right, folks. That's the end of tonight's spooky selection. And our spirits grow weary. But they'll be stronger than ever next time as we engage in even more haunted holiday hijinks. The bells.